raindrop. Drop top, smoking up, looking the hot bar. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, dot. Looking up, open the crock pot.
Hey, what is going on, guys? I'm KrisLuckPhoto, and today we're going to be talking about this type of thing here, a gimbal. This one in particular is the Ronin S, and we're going to talk about whether you need one or not in 2022. So first we'll start off with saying, who is a gimbal for? Well, a gimbal is for anyone that wants stabilized footage better than what their camera can handle. That's basically it. Someone like me with 500 subscribers, or people in Hollywood making the next thriller movie. A gimbal is useful in so many ways. You could do so many things with it. They're on drones. You could put them on your car. You could do so many epic things with a gimbal, or you could just do what I do and just kind of use it for handheld beach walking and hiking and having a good time with the dogs and whatnot. Using a gimbal when you're by yourself can be very challenging, especially if you don't have a subject to shoot. Someone like me, I don't really like taking gimbals out whether I'm hiking or just if I'm by myself, because not only do I typically not have a subject to shoot in nature, I'm not going to put this thing on for filming bears and wildlife and whatnot. I like it for hiking and being at the beach, and if I have my dogs with me, it's great to follow them with it, or a log or a branch. I really enjoy just kind of like really having some smooth motion around a subject, whether it's a car, a building, human, whatnot. It's very simple to do when you have something to film. But I'll say this, if you have no story to tell, you will not be getting the shots that you want. And I say that because I've been there, and I often find myself there when I'm out by myself. I have this gimbal, I spent all this money on it back in 2019, maybe 2018. When I'm by myself and I'm out in nature, not only is this thing too heavy to bring on hikes and whatnot, I mean, you can if you're willing to just bring a gimbal and one lens, it won't be as bad. But I find that using drone footage or a GoPro or a 360 camera gets what I need done. If I want to go for commercial work like real estate or filming a business or recording something that often requires a lot of work, then I would definitely recommend owning one of these, because not only does the footage help you in the long run, it makes your clients feel confident that you know what you're doing. When I first got this, and if I don't use it for a while, it definitely takes a little bit to remember what to do. But you'll find that it's really not too challenging, especially if you learn some basic moves with your gimbal. When I'm using the Ronin S and the only thing I'm filming is me walking down the beach and there's nobody around, I'm not going to do it. I'll just fly the drone, or I won't even get the footage, because I find that I often just throw the footage away because there's nothing that attracts my eye. This works if you have a log and you're trying to film and moving slowly. Definitely can make your footage very cinematic. So I'm not saying I don't use it, but I find for a lot of the stuff that I like, this is probably under 10%. Now I do want to use this more often, but I'm finding that with the Canon EOS R and EF lenses, I need an adapter. And the adapter really brings this odd weight, and this Ronin S just can't handle it. It's okay with this 20mm 1.4 that I have, but bigger lenses often make this very awkward. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If I wanted to bring this up and down, this works just fine. But with bigger lenses, I cannot balance this camera, because what will happen is it will hit right here. I've tried so much to fix this in many ways, I just couldn't do it. I've tried moving this and that and that and this and that and this and that. I've had so many problems balancing this with heavier lenses. Research shows the newer ones can handle it better. It gives you more room and whatnot. So if you're going to get a gimbal, I'd recommend not only watching some videos on how to use it, but write down the shots that you want to get with it. Because if you go in blind, you're going to get really bad shots. I'm not trying to say that you're a bad creator. I'm trying to say that it's not smart to just go in blind, because you'll end up getting shots that make no sense. When you go to edit them, they won't have a nice story. If you see on TikTok lately, there's or Instagram Reels, there's some really cool cinematic gimbal videos of people's cars and whatnot. It's like raindrop, drop top. It's got really cool transitions. If you've seen that video, you know that a gimbal could be very useful for smooth and storytelling videos. Going out without a plan often leads to, quite frankly, useless and boring videos. With that being said, the right creative mind can just take this thing out to a beach and get some really epic shots. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to be them just walking down the beach holding it like la 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 la. They're going to get some really cool low angle, high angle, different kind of wave shots. They're really going to pay attention to detail. Write down your shots before you do them because it will help you dramatically. So let's talk about the Ronin S in particular. We're going to go through some pros and cons. The first pro is it really does produce stable footage. I mean, running with it, I have no problems. I think the footage looks really great. If you're using a gimbal, make sure you turn off the image stabilization on your lens. That'll help you a lot. This Sigma 1.4 20mm doesn't have image stabilization, and I find that it looks way better than if I use another lens and accidentally left the image stabilizer on. I like the Ronin app, and I like that you can get some creative shots. You can get motion video if you're by yourself. You can get motion time lapses. The app gives you a lot of creative ideas to do. And also with this gimbal, you can do the good old 360 rotate. Let me show you here. See how it 360 rotates? So that's how people get those spinning shots and whatnot. Alright, so a con is this gimbal is getting older. It can't handle the heavier lenses. I've seen the RS2, the newest version, handle a Canon with a 70-200 lens. And it would be kind of cool if it could handle a 100-500 too. I think that would be something unique that I would like to try out in the field this year. This gimbal in particular, all of them, but this one in particular is a real pain in setting up. I personally have some issues with setting everything up, and I'm not sure if it's just the Canon EOS R with awkward weight or whatnot, but I definitely have some problems setting this thing up. This is the first and only gimbal that I've used, but every video I've seen, it looks like the other gimbals are so much easier to handle and set up and whatnot. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe this thing can handle more than I can figure out, but personally, I have issues with setting it up. It's a pain. I feel a gimbal is for somebody that wants to take everything very... Oh, look how fast this goes. I feel a gimbal is for somebody that wants to take their videos very serious, whether you do commercial stuff, get paid to do things. I'm not saying that if you don't get paid, you can't be serious about it, but if you're going to buy one of these, I recommend spending a lot of time with learning how to use it properly, getting the best storytelling videos for a smoother transition experience. If you pair this with a drone, you can make some absolutely amazing things happen. So at the end of the day, do you really need a gimbal? If your camera, like my R5 that I'm using to film with this, has 120 FPS, you can get away with having very stable shots with maybe 1 to 5 second footage in that 120 FPS slow motion video. You can also use a drone, like I mentioned, but not in the air, just holding it, and you just hold your drone, have it recording, walk around. You can use that as a gimbal if you don't need a gimbal full time. You just need a couple shots here and there. A drone could work. Also, some of the best stabilization I've seen far exceeds the stabilization of gimbals is the new Insta360s or the GoPro 10. Really, really stable footage at the sacrifice of not having the lens that you'd like with the bokeh in the background that you'd like as well. So at the end of the day, if you decide you do want a gimbal, you want to take everything serious, do I recommend the Ronin S? And honestly, if you're on a budget, it's not bad. You can't go wrong. Definitely can get the job done that you need done. But if you have a little bit of money to spend, if you know you're going to make some money in the long run, recommend getting the RS2 by Ronin or the Zion Crane 3S. They both can handle 10 plus pounds. They're lighter than this, and they have locking axes, so this thing isn't flopping around. Let me show you what I mean here. When you turn this off, it just kind of flops around. So if you put that in your camera bag, you're really going to have a lot of issues. You might even move, so you have to reset up everything. But with the locking axes, with the locking axes, you can just trust that it's going to be ready to go when you arrive to your destination. You're ready to shoot. Also, I have some really exciting news. If you're not sure which one you'd like to buy, you can go to lensrentals.com. Link is in the description. Use code KRIS15 and you can get 50% off a lens, a camera, a gimbal if you want to use one, if you want to try the RS2 versus the Crane 3 and figure out which one you want to get. 15% off. Make sure you use the link in the description as it does help me out a little bit. Alrighty, well I think I rambled enough in this video. If you need a gimbal, trust your gut and just get one. There's no one out there that can tell you what you need it for. You have to do your own research and figure out if you want to buy one. If you buy one, I guarantee your footage will improve and you'll have some fun. I just cannot stop doing this. This is the sport mode. Look how fast it goes. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm rambling. I appreciate you guys watching this video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel as most of my videos are about Alaska and showing off the scenery, wildlife. I love bears, love whales, love really all wildlife. And I live in Kodiak, so really, really unique place, epic scenery here, and I invite you to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking up in the hot